Welcome to the 2021 AIA New York State Design Awards. I'm Georgie Ann Bailey, Executive Vice President of the state component. It's a pleasure to once again be with you. We're excited and appreciate the opportunity to come together and celebrate our Design Award recipients. At AIA New York State, our members are part of a vibrant community of architecture and industry professionals that are transforming the built environment. For 53 years, AIA New York State Design Awards have emulated local, national, and international projects that achieve excellence designed by architects throughout New York State. Congratulations to our 2021 award recipients. Now I would like to turn it over to Ilya Azaroff, FAIA, President of AIA New York State.
Thank you, Georgie. And I'd like to welcome you all here today to the 2021 American Institute of Architects New York State Design Awards celebration. This has been a very interesting year for me serving as your president of AIA New York State, but it's also been a very rewarding year. So I'm also excited today to talk to you about and present the New York State architects and their outstanding work that they've done in spite of the pandemic. 24 projects were recognized for citation, merit, honor, and high honor awards in the following categories: adaptive reuse, historic preservation, commercial industrial, institutional, interiors, residential, sole practitioner, unbuilt, and urban planning and design. The 2021 Design Awards jury represented all scales and manner of practice, theory, and geographic diversity. The jury was comprised of Jury Chair Matt Dumich, FAIA. He's a principal and workplace studio leader at SmithGroup. Allison Anderson, FAIA, principal of Unabridged Architecture. And Donna Kacmar, FAIA, an architect at Architect Works, PLLC, and a professor at the University of Houston. Paola Moya, founder of Moya Design Partners, and Reggie Truxon, AIA, Associate and Southeast Regional Director of Management at Gensler. They all had a great challenge of choosing these projects out of 222 submissions. Matt Dumich, the jury chair, was so impressed with the overall quality of the submissions and pleased to see so many projects focusing on community and resilience. Donna Kacmar also mentioned that there's so many great projects here that any juror would have been pleased to have been the author. Using their leadership, expertise, and ability to problem solve, architects continue to create ambitious projects that make notable difference. I'm proud of the significant contributions and innovative solutions that our members provide to both our communities and the profession. Congratulations to all our well-deserved award recipients. Out of the 24 award recipients, the jury also selected a project that will be considered the best of the best, which will be announced at the end of this ceremony.
Welcome to the 2021 AIA New York State Design Awards. 24 projects were recognized for awards in 10 categories. Merit Award, Adaptive Reuse, Historic Preservation, Community Center and Thesfam Madasur, Santiago, Chile, Luis Vidal Plus Architects, Miami, Florida. The city that takes care of its cultural heritage is the city that listens to its past without neglecting its future. This delicate balance between memory and contemporaneity is what a perdurable architecture committed to contribute to the society provides. Those are the cornerstones for the Madasur complex and their approach to a responsible design. A contribution to the social dialogue with environmental commitment. The result is an unprecedented refurbishment that gives back to the city of Santiago one of its most iconic constructions. Past, present, and future merge in a building that combines modernity with tradition and innovation with respect for the city's heritage. The Madasur complex consists of 2 buildings within the same plot. The former Metropolitan Lyceum, built in 1891, restored to host social uses such as a nursery school, a gym or an auditorium, and a new build construction accommodating a THESFOM, a public primary healthcare center. A total built area of 59,200 square feet gives support to a community of over 30,000 users. Between these buildings, there's a public plaza that provides the community with an open space to promote social encounters, the heart of the project. The challenge was, on one hand, restoring this historic building, and on the other, designing a new build construction that integrates harmoniously into the whole. They aim to translate the most singular elements of the pre-existing building by using a contemporary language that doesn't compete with a historic building style, but enhances it. A careful analysis of the pre-existing building combined with a delicate, conscious design that involves materiality, functionality, rhythm, sustainability, facade studies, and light, the key aspects of the proposal. As a result, they achieved their goal, to retrieve and reveal the building's original architectural value, while establishing a dialogue between the historic building and the new. Excellence in architecture is achieved by a combination of the best design team, the best contractor, and the best client. To all of those involved in this project, we extend our sincerest gratitude, especially thanking the Municipalidad de Santiago, which trusted Luis Vidal Plus Architects with this remarkable challenge in the heart of Chile. The Matisur Community Center and THESFOM represented a unique opportunity to merge the past, present, and future, blending tradition and innovation into a single project, serving the community and its city. This award is of special relevance for us, as New York is the first city that welcomed Luis Vidal Plus Architects when we started working and opening offices in the United States over 8 years ago. Since then, the AIA has become a second home and a hub of inspiration for best practices in architecture. Thank you very much for your tireless and necessary work. We are very honored to have received this recognition. Merit Award, Adaptive Reuse, Historic Preservation. Moynihan Train Hall, New York, New York. Skidmore, Owings, and Merrill. Empire State Development, New York, New York. Moynihan Train Hall is one of the most monumental civic projects undertaken in New York City in a generation. It expands the Pennsylvania Station complex into the James A. Farley Post Office building across 8th Avenue, reversing the dark, overcrowded experience that so many commuters have endured for decades. The design brings light to the concourses for the first time in more than 50 years, increases total concourse space by 50%, and restores the grandeur that was lost with the demolition of the original Penn Station half a century ago. The original Penn Station was a skylit Beaux-Arts masterpiece that celebrated passengers' arrival to New York from 1910 to 1963. The adaptive reuse of the Farley Building, a landmark also designed by the same firm and completed in 1913, represents the transformation of an underutilized building into a new, inviting front door for New York. The 255,000 square foot train hall, located in the Farley Building's former mail sorting room, is designed with a dramatic skylight that traverses the entire space, reflecting the design of the original Penn Station. The skylight is arranged in 4 catenary vaults that reach 92 feet above the concourse. To support the structure, the architects uncovered the building's massive steel trusses, which had been invisible a century ago, to establish a modern aesthetic while displaying the workmanship of the original structure. The result is a grand space with an open, airy ambiance and a palpable transformation of the way millions of people interact with one of the world's largest cities. Moynihan Train Hall connects to 9 platforms and 17 tracks that primarily serve Amtrak and the Long Island Railroad. It connects directly with the 8th Avenue subway, and plans are in the works to connect both Penn Station and the train hall to Metro North and AirTrain JFK. SOM would like to thank AIA New York State and the awards jury for recognizing Moynihan Train Hall with an award of merit. Moynihan is not only a monumental civic project of the type that we need to do much more of in the United States, it is also a major milestone in New York City's history. It is proof that public architecture can improve the experience of the people who use it. This award recognizes that kind of impact and what it means to reimagine the way we experience New York. SOM would also like to congratulate Empire State Development, Vornado Realty Trust, Skanska, and the entire public-private partnership and consultant team for this achievement. The collaborative effort of everyone involved was instrumental in making this project so successful. Thank you. Honor Award, Adaptive Reuse, Historic Preservation, Bell Works, Homedale, New Jersey. Alexander Gorlin Architects, New York, New York. Originally designed by renowned architect Eero Saarinen, the 2 million square foot Bell Works is a multi-use development known for its iconic open atrium scheme, which spans a full quarter mile. The building served as an innovation headquarters for over 6,000 Bell Labs employees from 1962 to 2007. Slated for demolition for years, the building was saved by a developer who purchased the site in 2013. Bell Labs was then redesigned as a multi-tenant facility that the public could truly enjoy while simultaneously creating an economically viable facility. Under the new development, Bell Works acts as a metroburb, a concept inspired by the tenets of new urbanism that combines the density and dynamism of a walkable downtown Main Street in a suburban locale. On-site businesses and workers from across the region can once again roam its unique, open hallways, part of a new dynamic, collaborative workplace, complete with a blossoming ecosystem of technology, traditional office, retail, dining, and hospitality. Today, the space has attracted a multicultural food hall, an educational facility, the local public library, relocated from its municipal offices, a premium fitness center, a beauty salon, several locally inspired restaurants, and plans for healthcare facilities. The building is also equipped with multiple open event spaces, a renovated auditorium, and a rooftop venue. In recognition of the great significance of the site, the building was admitted to the National Registry of Historic Places in 2017. Only 11% of the 1.2 million square feet of rentable space remains unleased. The building is open to the public and hosts the annual July 4th fireworks display that draws 6,000 attendees from the local community. We are delighted that our historic adaptive reuse of Bell Works has been honored by AIA New York State. This monumental project preserves the spirit of Eero Saarinen's original design while transforming it into a bustling urban center within a suburban locale. We would like to thank Ralph Zucker, Somerset Development, Paola Zamudio, NPC Style and Decor, and our team here, Cyrus Sarafa, Vincent Linarello, and Daniel Schutz. Honor Award, Commercial Industrial, Large Projects, greater than 5,000 square feet. 76 Trinity Commons, New York, New York. Pelly Clark and Partners, Design Architect. Stephen B. Jacobs Group, Executive Architect. New York, New York. Trinity Commons is a complementary extension of Trinity Church, a historic parish designed by Robert Upjohn in 1846. This 314,500 square foot secular community center and office tower is located on Wall Street in Lower Manhattan and provides a direct connection by a pedestrian bridge to the historic Trinity Church. The project includes a 10-floor podium open to the community with gathering spaces, basketball courts, classrooms, studios, administrative offices, and meeting rooms, as well as 17 floors of offices above. Trinity Commons holistically combines these community spaces with the mission and values of Trinity Church: faith, integrity, inclusiveness, compassion, social justice, and stewardship. Trinity Church describes Trinity Commons as a spiritual extension of the church and a resource for the community. A safe, welcoming space for residents and visitors of all ages and background. As part of the design process, the Lower Manhattan community was invited to participate in multiple public charrettes to contribute their ideas and preferences for this new building, which helped create community engagement and buy-in of the project from the inception. Trinity Commons' location is significant and unique. The building's architectural response respects its context, but it also has an identity, which is distinguished and notable. Trinity Commons' exterior wall references Trinity Church's Gothic expression of vertical ribbed piers and crenellations, with its tartan grid of painted aluminum vertical piers and horizontal accents. The grid color changes during the day from copper to bronze and is a striking complement to the Trinity Church brownstone. 76 Trinity Commons was a community effort, so there are many people to thank. Pelly Clark and Partners would like to extend our appreciation and gratitude to the Trinity congregation and neighbors for contributing your ideas and enthusiasm to the programming process. We are indebted to the Trinity Leadership Group for their vision and guidance. Special thanks to the team: Richard Gladstone, our fearless leader; Stephen B. Jacobs, our executive architect; Gilsons Murray Stefik, structural engineers; Jaros Baum and Bowles, MEP engineers; and Hunter Roberts, CM. We look forward to a time when the facility can finally open and fulfill its role supporting Trinity's mission. Citation: commercial industrial, small projects, less than 5,000 square feet. MTA New York City Transit, Fan Plant 7204, Long Island City, New York. Gannett Fleming Engineers and Architects, New York, New York. A forward-thinking retrofit of Metropolitan Transportation Authority New York City Transit Fan Plant 7204 in Long Island City provided resiliency of this essential infrastructure facility so it could withstand a major storm. But it also achieved so much more. The innovative design solution combined structural logic with contextual sensitivity, creating an aesthetically appealing structure integrated seamlessly into the surrounding community. Its perforated metal exterior cladding was specifically chosen to express a light, airy structure. Keen attention to the cladding details, allowing views through the corners, lends an ethereal quality to the building. The granite base demarcates the flood-proof wall that surrounds the base. Given the close proximity of the facility's two buildings, the fan plant and the transformer building, the designer sought to create a formal dialogue between the two structures. Fan plants are critical components of the New York City subway system. Located at the ends of tunnels running underneath the East River, they provide passive ventilation for the subway, enabling the piston action of moving trains to pull fresh air down into the tunnels below. In addition, in the event of a fire in the tunnels, the plant's massive fans serve to draw smoke out, giving people time to escape. FP 7204 also serves as an emergency egress for the public, providing an escape route from the tunnels during an emergency event. Due to the critical nature of the facility, New York City Transit could not shut down FP 7204 for an extended time during the retrofit project, or demolish it to build a replacement. Even with these constraints, creative design enabled the successful delivery of significant plant upgrades that achieved all resiliency requirements with minimal disruption to subway operations, while greatly enhancing the quality of life for local neighborhood residents. Gannett Fleming Engineers and Architects is honored to accept this recognition for the design and construction of MTA New York City Transit Fan Plant 7204 in Long Island City. We would like to express our sincere gratitude to AIA New York State for this honor and recognize our partners in the project: Arab, FOS Development Corporation, and of course, Metropolitan Transportation Authority New York City Transit for their vision, commitment to quality, and invaluable collaboration. It was truly a team effort, and we are proud to play a part in improving the quality of life in the Long Island City community. Citation: institutional. The Baker Museum Artists, Naples, Naples, Florida. Weiss Manfredi, New York, New York. Artis Naples is a thriving cultural institution in Florida that combines one of the largest visual and performing arts centers in the Southeast with an active schedule of events, exhibitions, and entertainment, including music, dance, cinema, theater, and art, attracting top artists from around the world. The Baker Museum renovation and expansion launches Artis Naples into the future, matching physical growth of the museum with the aspirational growth of the institution. The repair and expansion of the Baker Museum entails both the repair of the museum's facade, necessitated by Hurricane Irma, and the expansion of the existing museum to the south with an improved entrance and new event, educational, and museum support areas. The facility houses several new spaces for art, performance, education, and social interaction. The Baker Museum's curved exterior is clad in stone and metal with a durable water-resistant barrier against future storms. The Norris Courtyard at the center of the new Artis Naples Cultural Campus features sculpture and provides a setting for both events and direct access to the Baker Museum. The new museum entrance sequence provides a more open public experience and visible museum entry, relocating the museum store and ticketing into the museum lobby. The first floor gains the multi-purpose performance and learning center for lectures, rehearsals, art exhibitions, and educational programs. A monumental exterior stairway leads to the new second-floor event space, which accommodates ensemble performances, receptions, lectures, and exhibitions. Another addition is the rooftop sculpture terrace, accessed from a third-floor gallery, which provides views of the Gulf of Mexico. Thank you to the AIA for supporting high-quality architecture, and thank you to the jury for their recognition. Weiss Manfredi would also like to thank Kathleen Van Bergen, President and CEO of the Baker Museum, as well as the members of the Baker Museum's board. In a time when culture, in particular arts education, is increasingly important, we see the mission of the Baker Museum and its inclusive promotion of education as an inspirational beacon. We are honored to be part of a project that stands for resilience so literally and figuratively, addressing climate change-induced storms and flooding in materiality and structure, while offering to the Florida community the healing power of creativity. Merit Award, Institutional, Greenpoint Library and Environmental Education Center, Brooklyn Public Library, Brooklyn, New York. Marble Fairbanks Architects, Brooklyn, New York. The Greenpoint Library and Environmental Education Center is one of 58 neighborhood libraries in the Brooklyn Public Library system. Funded in part from a legacy grant from the Greenpoint Community Environmental Fund, this project is the result of an active engagement between BPL and the community, with significant input from local members of the Community Advisory Committee. The new building serves residents of all ages and partners with local environmental groups to offer opportunities to learn about the rich history of Greenpoint and its specific ecological context. The library offers a centralized venue for collaborative work on initiatives that seek to benefit the residents and the natural environment. The new Greenpoint Library is a 15,000 square foot community hub for environmental awareness, activism, and education. The design doubles the size of the previous building, providing enlarged indoor and outdoor spaces to house expanded activities related to the exploration of the environment as well as everyday library use. The primary program elements are adult, young adult, and children reading rooms and collection spaces and community spaces. Lab spaces for interactive projects, a large community event space, which can be divided into lab spaces, a lounge, small meeting rooms, and staff spaces are distributed throughout the 2 levels. The Greenpoint Library and Environmental Education Center provides street-level exterior green space, clear visual connections to interior activities, and 2 accessible green roofs on the upper floors. The plaza design offers the public an engaging civic space that demonstrates sustainability and reinterprets the environmental history of the region. Primary exterior building materials include custom sandblasted wood panels on the upper level and custom cast concrete on the lower level. The building will exceed required LEED goals, becoming a demonstration project for innovative approaches to sustainable design and a learning tool for the community. Public libraries provide critical social infrastructure in their communities. This unique project, a library and an environmental research center, grew out of community activism and was fully supported by the innovative leadership team at Brooklyn Public Library. We were fortunate to have had many generous collaborators on the team, including SCAPE, landscape architects, Silman, structural engineers, ADS, MEP and lead engineers, among others. The process included significant community engagement, ensuring that this branch library would meet their needs for future programming. Thank you to Brooklyn Public Library for the honor of working with you and the Greenpoint community. Thank you to the AIA New York State jury for selecting this project for recognition. Merit Award, Institutional, National Museum of the United States Army, Fort Belvoir, Virginia, Skidmore, Owings, and Merrill, New York, New York. The National Museum of the United States Army is designed to serve as the symbolic front door to the oldest branch of the United States military, spanning 84 acres at the Fort Belvoir military installation. The museum focuses first and foremost on the story of the individual soldier and draws inspiration from three core ideals: discipline, modesty, and rigor. The building, which rests atop a plateau to evoke a sense of monumentality, is composed of a series of 5 pavilions for exhibits and special events. The facade, designed in a regular grid of stainless steel panels, reflects the bucolic surroundings, transforming the character of the building through every season and time of day. At the corner of each pavilion, recessed glass panels alternate with painted aluminum fins to create a sense of dynamism. The interior is characterized by natural materials, from stone floors to American white oak and ash finishes. Glass and wood thresholds connect each pavilion, marking transitions between spaces and providing views outside. The lobby, which can transition into an event space, features a coffered ceiling with 22 rows of translucent laminated glass panels which match the colors of historic campaign streamers. This entry space is surrounded by retail, a cafe, the first of 3 landscape terraces, exhibition spaces, a 300-degree theater, and a monumental staircase that leads to more exhibitions on the 2nd floor. On the 3rd level, the Veterans Hall provides additional event space and connects to the Medal of Honor Garden, a terrace featuring a 10-foot-tall granite wall engraved with the names of every recipient of the Army's highest and most prestigious decoration. The museum is certified LEED Silver through a variety of sustainable design strategies, such as increased insulation, improved glazing, high-efficiency LED lighting, automatic daylighting controls and occupancy sensors, and a green roof. SOM would like to thank AIA New York State and the awards jury for honoring the National Museum of the United States Army with an Award of Merit. This project was designed and built to tell the story of the millions of people who have served in the Army, a centuries-long narrative of honor, sacrifice, and valor. It is a place where veterans and their families can always feel at home. SOM would also like to congratulate the Army Historical Foundation, the nonprofit organization that led the campaign to construct the museum, and the entire consultant team for this achievement. Together, the entire project team created a center of national significance that will tell an important part of American history for many years to come. Honor Award, Institutional, the Nancy and Rich Kinder Museum Building, Museum of Fine Arts, Houston, Texas. Stephen Hall Architects, New York, New York. The new Nancy and Rich Kinder Museum building is characterized by porosity, opening the ground floor at all elevations. 7 gardens slice the perimeter, marking points of entry and punctuating the elevations. The open flow through galleries is punctuated by views into the 7 gardens, with green trellises offering shade from glare. The galleries are centered around an open forum, which provides generous spaces for the exhibition of art and vertical circulation. The Texas sky opens 180 degrees overhead, above a luminous canopy covering the new building. Concave curves, imagined from cloud circles, push down on the roof geometry, allowing natural light to slip in with precise measure and quality, perfect for top-lit galleries. Organized horizontally on 2 levels, all galleries have natural light and are flexible with open flow. The undersides of the curved ceiling become light reflectors, catching and sliding the light across each distinct gallery experience. These curved slices of light shape the gallery spaces in a unique way related to the organic qualities of the lush vegetation and water that characterize the new campus. Rather than mechanical and repetitive, the light is flowing, echoing the movement through the galleries. The Kinder Building adds a horizontal architecture in translucent glass to the museum's collection of stone, circa 1924, steel and glass, circa 1958 and 1974, and stone buildings, circa 2000. Its innovative glass tube facade has a soft, alabaster-like texture. The 30-inch tubes of glass open at the top and bottom, providing a cold jacket which reduces solar gain by 70% on the facades via the chimney effect of air circulation. At night, the glowing translucent facade is reflected in the water gardens and provides an open invitation to enter the museum. Stephen Hall states, "I am very pleased about the AIA New York State Design Award. I hope that everyone will visit this building because the experience of it is fantastic. I am very proud of it and everyone who worked on it. This was a great team effort." Merit Award, Interiors. Thomas S. Murphy Clubhouse Pool, Madison Square Boys and Girls Club, Brooklyn, New York. ESKW, Architects, New York, New York. The Thomas S. Murphy Clubhouse Pool renovation, located in Flatbush, Brooklyn, was completed in the fall of 2017. The project is the first ever renovation of the club's pool, one of the few clubs in New York City with an indoor swimming pool. The Madison Square Boys and Girls Club program serves local, under-resourced youth, and the renovation reinvigorates the otherwise dark space, providing water safety and security saves hundreds of lives annually and encourages a healthy lifestyle. The focal point of the design is the custom wall tile mosaic that features club members who volunteered to be photographed underwater while swimming. In this way, the design is directly tied to the community, who see themselves in the architecture. The architect's design of the mosaic is highly detailed, incorporating imagery of bubbles, shadows, and moving water within the black and white glass tile. This design feature extends into the renovated entry lobby where parents and guardians can look into the pool area. In addition to the new finishes throughout the seating and lobby areas, new LED lighting enlivens the cellar space and improves energy performance. Mitigating the low ceiling height, the ceiling structure is exposed and the HVAC ductwork was selected to be bright orange color, complementing the deep blue pool plaster. Additional work on the pool area included reshaping the pool floor to increase the teachable space within the pool, changing the gutter and return systems, and providing dehumidification systems. The design mitigates the negative qualities of an underground space by creating a clean, bright, and airy atmosphere with bold, colorful accents and a custom mosaic wall that reflects the communities who use the space every day. The architects thank the client, Steve Melton of Madison Square Boys and Girls Club, for pushing the design to be a story rather than a standard renovation of finishes. With the challenge of a limited budget, the team embraced the design process with care and creativity to create a special space. Thank you to LOM Properties, the owner's representative, for coordinating the underwater photo shoot that provided the images for the architects. Thank you to the photographer who donated his time to photograph the swimmers. Thank you to the awards jury for recognizing our project, which impacts the lives of hundreds of children every day. And of course, thank you to the kiddos who volunteer to allow their images to be captured and immortalized for generations to come. Merit Award, Interiors. Finansbank, Headquarters Interiors. Istanbul, Turkey. Pacob Fried and Partners, New York, New York. The headquarters of Finansbank, a leading Turkish financial institution, are housed in the emblematic Kristal Kul Tower, designed by Pacob Fried at the heart of Istanbul's new central business district. The office floors of the tower are united by common details and elements, including back-painted glass with stainless steel frames in elevator lobbies, double glass partitions for enclosed offices, integrated metal ceilings with lineal lighting, and a raised floor system. Pacob Fried worked with a furniture consultant and the client to design furniture for every category of employee. Levels 30 and 31, containing private executive offices, meeting rooms, and the boardroom, feature warmer, classic modern materials. The entrance lobby is carefully detailed with white oak walls that transform into a reception area, which opens onto the main waiting space and a sculptural stair that connects the two floors. The central core is clad in Turkish travertine. European white oak is used in the public areas and corridors, with lacquer finish inside the meeting rooms and offices. The ceilings are finished using traditional plaster techniques with a contemporary design, and the floors incorporate Turkish stones and white oak. A soaring 5-story event space at level 35 contains a spectacular sky garden with uninterrupted views of Istanbul. The east side of the garden has 2 levels for entertaining, while the west side is designed for private gatherings and dining. In contrast with the office floors, the structure around the facade is dramatically exposed. Material details include Turkish travertine, Ipe wood deck, and white oak. In a deft interweaving of old and new, these traditional materials are also featured in the state-of-the-art conference center in the podium, connecting the building to its historic city while creating a meaningful identity for its owner. Pacob Fried and Partners would like to thank our client, Finansbank, for the opportunity to design their headquarters. We congratulate Jose Bruguera, design partner for the project, and salute the entire team, in particular, Matteo Milani and Haruko Fukuwi, for their important contributions. We are grateful to our consultants in the United States, Turkey, and Italy for their scrupulous work. And finally, we recognize our late founding partner, Harry Cobb, who collaborated with Jose Bruguera on the design of Soyak Kristal Kul, the tower of which the interiors project is an integral part. Merit Award, International, Star Garment Innovation, Center Passive House, Katuniyake, Sri Lanka. Jordan Parnas, Digital Architecture, JPDA, Brooklyn, New York. Architect of Record, VJA, Associates of Sri Lanka. The Star Garment Innovation Center is a product development facility located outside of Colombo in Sri Lanka. Planned as a global model for the entire industry, the project sets a new high bar for sustainability, energy efficiency, and worker comfort. By choosing to renovate an obsolete building to passive house standards, the project dramatically reduces the waste, carbon emissions, and fossil fuels typically required for demolition and a new build, and promotes the client's commitment to maintain high standards in social, environmental, ethical, and safety compliance within the global fashion industry. The project is the first certified passive house project in South Asia, and one of only 2 certified passive house factory buildings in the world. Annual energy consumption has been cut by over 70% compared to a conventional, efficient modern industrial building. The project is a pioneer in applying passive house technology to a tropical monsoon climate, which features steady warm temperatures year-round, but extremely high humidity. Careful design and engineering of the building systems and enclosure ensures that workers enjoy comfort in a workspace that provides abundant natural light, low humidity, filtered fresh air, and maintains temperatures at constant 24 degrees Celsius or 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Thorough testing of the airtightness and remote monitoring of the ongoing energy usage have provided quantitative verification of the building performance, confirming projected operational cost savings for the client and vastly upgraded workplace environmental standards for the employees. The agenda was to assemble an integrated project team, including local architects, engineers, fabricators, and builders to encourage technology transfer and demonstrate the feasibility of high-performance building in the region. By promoting the project and inspiring the local building industry, there is a clear path to both reducing carbon emissions and putting an end to worker sweatshop conditions. This project was truly a team effort, and we have to acknowledge the dedication and commitment of everyone involved. First and foremost, Charlie Kacmar, who had the courage to hire a small firm pitching a sustainability technology he'd never heard of for his factory project halfway around the world. The JPDA staff, led by Marika Hulsman, who worked above and beyond to see this project to completion. Lois, Dylan, and Mike from SWA, who each sweated out half of their respective body weights in the tropical heat and overcame innumerable challenges. And the many Sri Lankan subs and tradespeople who enthusiastically embraced our mission and learned new skills and methodologies to help realize the goal of producing the first certified passive house building in South Asia. Citation: Pro Bono Projects. Neighborhoods Now, Bedford-Stuyvesant Restoration Corporation, Brooklyn, New York. Van Allen Institute. Urban Design Forum. Cohn Pedersen Fox Associates. James Corner Field Operations. Jaros, Baum, and Bowles Consulting Engineers. AE Superlab. Farzana Gandhi Design Studio. Partner and Partners. Freed, Frank, Harris, Shriver, and Jacobson. The partnership with the Bedford-Stuyvesant Restoration Corporation helped address COVID relief in a neighborhood already dealing with social inequity by empowering the community to respond to their immediate needs while contributing to the citywide pandemic response strategies. Under the Neighborhoods Now initiative, developed by the Van Allen Institute and Urban Design Forum, the multi-firm team established an open and continual communication process with restoration, stakeholders, and the community at large to address community concerns and identify challenges and opportunities. They created a series of proposals tailored to the needs of Bedford-Stuyvesant and the community at large in the hopes that some solutions could extend beyond the pandemic. This resulted in design recommendations, prototypes, and installations that contribute to a safe, equitable, healthy, and vibrant neighborhood. The effort culminated in a series of user-friendly materials that were distributed to the wider population. Posters communicating COVID-19 related protocols, pamphlets relaying vital information and federal, state, and city recommendations, and a digital toolkit containing proposals and strategies to create meaningful public spaces with long-term solutions promoting principles of well-being. They also implemented virtual workshops for educating small businesses, the Be a Good Neighbor program to encourage cooperation among businesses, and the idea of land swaps for repurposing underutilized spaces to benefit the neighborhood, and a support system that can emerge from sharing resources. They established community build days to implement graphic wayfinding, greening efforts, and the first phase of the Adopt a Square murals. Partnering with restoration art and local artists, these living decals use greening and planting for dedensification, beautification, and as graphic cues and physical barriers for navigation and encouraging social distancing and provide a sense of vibrancy and life. The partnership with restoration continues today, and the team continues to offer support in finding additional resources, including legal, graphic design, public health, and other services. At the onset of the COVID pandemic, The Urban Design Forum and Van Allen Institute formed an alliance and created a model that brought groups of different design talents and professions together and paired them with community groups. We were partnered with the Bedford-Stuyvesant Restoration Corporation, and immediately designers and the client became one. A new form of collaboration happened within our team of architects, landscape architects, engineers, graphic designers, and legal counsel working closely with our client and a diverse cross-section of neighborhood stakeholders. Their input throughout the design process was invaluable, with our joint goal to bring confidence and a sense of comfort to the community during the pandemic. Our hope is that in the future, this kind of model of collaboration and engagement can continue and help support us in delivering tailored solutions for other projects that make a difference. Merit Award, Residential Multifamily Multiple Dwellings, 75 Kacmar, New York, New York. Andre Kikoski, Architect, New York, New York. Sitting at the bustling intersection of Kacmar and Mulberry Streets in the gritty heart of Nolita, 75 Kacmar is an 83,000 square foot, 7-story residential building with 38 apartments ranging in size from 600 to 3,000 square feet. Knit into the urban and architectural fabric, the building's massing speaks to the neighborhood scale while contrasting with its surroundings through a distinctly detailed contemporary facade. Imaginative detailing gives concrete, the humblest of materials, a timeless and robust presence. Simple linear channel-like forms, referencing shade and shadow in contextual architectural details, modulate the play of sunlight across its surfaces to create a sense of joy for passers-by. The plant features 6 windowed facades and a second-floor garden that flows visually and spatially into the surrounding neighborhood and adjacent public park. This strategy makes softly edged and generously permeable spaces that generate engaging views throughout and within the neighborhood and building. Multi-story bronze window frames set into the concrete skin respond to the proportions and architectural language of Nolita and give the building an inviting human scale. The facades combine AKA's love of basic materials, elegant proportions, and thoughtful detailing with handcrafted workmanship to create a building that both inspires and gives to its neighborhood. 75 Kacmar creates architecture that is deeply rooted in a sense of place. It is both generous to its surroundings and inseparable from its context, demonstrating AKA's conviction that buildings must be timeless and new, engage the senses, delight the eye, and lift the spirit of all, creating a sense of joy for passers-by. We are honored to be the recipient of this distinction and would like to thank our visionary client, Dan Hollander of DHA Capital, for placing his trust and confidence in our abilities. We also could not have succeeded without the exceptional collaboration of our talented team, and wish to thank every member of each organization that helped turn this vision for a distinctive work of architecture into an award-winning reality. Merit Award, Residential Multifamily Multiple Dwellings, Denizen, Brooklyn, New York. ODA, New York, New York. Denizen is one of the largest residential projects in New York City. In Bushwick, Brooklyn, known for its artists and authentic charm, ODA took 2 city blocks and created a destination for the largest display of public art in the city. What was originally thought of as a residential dwelling was transformed into an artistic playground for the local community and the 2,000 residents living there. Through a series of courtyards and public parks, water features and amenities, this 1.2 million square foot community was transformed by 15 7-story murals painted by local artists. It provided the opportunity to impact a developing neighborhood, but also to envision a more connected future. Situated on the former site of Brooklyn's Rheingold Brewery, Denizen contains 1 million square feet of apartment units, 20% of which are affordable. ODA recognized from the start that it had to be inclusive of the community around it, while providing a sense of ownership and security for the people living there. Through art, public space, and community involvement, ODA created something with a feeling of transparency rather than isolation. The guiding principles of the design was to create something that encourages both leisure and discovery. The site was carved up to resemble an old town core, with a sequence of interconnected courtyards and meandering paths that create a unique sense of place. The project also hosts a multitude of communal spaces open to the neighborhood, including a 17,850 square foot public park that bisects the development and connects the blocks through a green promenade. Single-loaded corridors are the backdrop for the monumental paintings. The porous landscape, with retail and food and beverage at the ground floor, accessible to tenants and community, brought about a symbiotic state. The landscaping at Denizen ranges from landscape courtyards and food halls to a 60,000 square foot rooftop with great views of Manhattan. ODA is honored to receive the AIA New York State Award of Merit for Residential Multifamily. Denizen represents so many of ODA's ideas around urban living and inclusivity, and we are so proud of how it continues to grow. We want to extend a sincere thank you to the team members of our nonprofit Open and the community in Bushwick for embracing our concept and contributing to the project through the incredible art program that really brings Denizen to life. Receiving an award of merit from AIA New York State and to be recognized by a jury of our esteemed peers is such an honor. Merit Award, Residential Single Family Detached, 2,500 square feet and over, Stony Hill, Amagansett, New York. Bates Massey and Architects, East Hampton, New York. The goal of the project was to reference the agrarian history of the site in the architecture and landscape design, principally by dividing the site into zones in a similar fashion to the original pasture parcels, in the same way that the parcels had different maturities of grasses due to the rotating grazing. The scale and density of the plantings in each zone were designed to vary based on modern needs. High grasses and shrubs provide a visual and acoustic buffer from the road. Medium-height grasses screen the house from the approach, and low grass and ground cover open up views where appropriate. The massing of the house is broken up into smaller volumes, each of which relate to one of the landscape zones: public spaces, private spaces, and guest or service spaces. The interconnected gabled structures reference the connected barn vernacular precedent, but are adapted for a modern experience. The steep roof pitches allow for ample second floor space uninterrupted by collar ties. These traditional gable forms are subverted by cuts through the ridge to bring in natural light. In the same way traditional forms are adapted, so too are historic materials transformed. The shingle siding common to the region is exaggerated in scale. In reference to the grasses of the pasture, traditional thatch siding is employed but is packed neatly between the exposed exterior framing in a modern interpretation. The rhythm of the exterior framing is continued on the interior in the structure of the stair and the bath vanities. With its holistic approach to both architecture and landscape, the design translates the history of the place into a unique architectural vocabulary. In the process, it preserves the pastoral character of the site, creates a record of the past, and enriches the family's home with deeper meaning. On behalf of Bates Massey and Architects and our design team, we would like to thank the jurors for awarding the Stony Hill residents with an award of merit. This project was an honor to design for a young, active family in our community. We would like to thank our clients for giving us the opportunity to design their family home. We would also like to thank the general contractor, John Hummel and Associates Custom Builders, interior designer J.L. Hummel Interiors, and structural engineer Stephen Maresca and Associates. Honor Award, Residential Single Family Detached, 2,500 square feet and over, Wainscott, Wainscott, New York. Bates Massey and Architects, East Hampton, New York. At the end of the 19th century, a private beach community was established from over 100 acres of coastal farmland. Large specimen trees, winding roads, early colonial architecture, agricultural buildings, and views of a large pond and the Atlantic Ocean create a bucolic setting. It was here that a family with a passion for art decided to build a home for their family, including future generations and their art collection. They requested it to become a family heirloom. As such, the home must anticipate the family's growth, providing space and privacy for guests, the couple's adult children, and their future grandchildren. It must be durable. It must also be elevated in anticipation of the future flood risk while preserving a connection to the landscape. Finally, the home must provide large openings to take advantage of the sweeping views and at the same time limit direct sunlight on the art. In response, the house was divided into 3 separate gabled structures dedicated to the couple and the 2 future families of their children. Each volume has its own staircase to the unconnected second-floor spaces, which include bedrooms, lounge areas, laundry facilities, and kitchenettes. These separate self-sufficient volumes are connected on the main level by an art-filled circulation spine that opens to larger display spaces around the stairs. To provide indirect natural light, continuous clear-story windows along the spine allow diffused light from the north to filter through a carefully detailed exterior shingle screen. To ensure the home as an heirloom will endure, it is clad in durable materials that are applied in redundant layers. Cedar boards are installed like shingles, in layers over a weather-tight shell. The family will grow and change, as will their art, but the home will endure as a place of appreciation for both. On behalf of Bates Massey and Architects and our design team, we would like to thank the jurors for awarding the Wainscott residents with the Honor Award. We would also like to thank our clients and our colleagues, General Contractor Men at Work Construction, Interior Designer DKDA Home, Lighting Designer Oarsman Design Incorporated, Art Consultant AWG Advisory, Structural Engineer Stephen Maresca and Associates, and Landscape Architect Perry Gio Incorporated for their contributions to the project. Merit Award: Residential Single-Family Detached, less than 2,500 square feet. Milestone, East Hampton, New York. Bates Massey and Architects, East Hampton, New York. A granite milestone distinguished an otherwise ordinary lot, one in a series of historic markers along a road connecting 2 villages. Just as milestones punctuate the roadside, the house is conceived as a regularly spaced series of insertions in the landscape. The resulting sequence of solid and void defines private and public areas of the home. Solid volumes contain bedrooms and service spaces, while glazed and screened gaps between accommodate the living room and screened porch. This spatial configuration promotes circulation within public spaces, minimizing hallways for an efficient plan. Metal standing seam shingles define the solid volumes and carry on to the interior walls of the living spaces, connecting them with the outside. Their projected vertical seams, low profile, and flat horizontal seams emphasize the verticality of the solid volumes as they spring from the ground, especially as the sun rakes across their surface. The house is sited so the massing's cadence runs parallel and synchronizes with the milestones. Floors lie 2 feet above grade to safeguard against inundation from the harbor across the road and raise the foundations above the high water table. In deference to the harbor's ecology, plantings graduate from low-maintenance native species to more manicured lawns as they progress from the harbor towards the house. A compact footprint also reduces impact on the site. In a community with a rich heritage of domestic architecture, the house connects to its place not through a reproduction of traditional styles, but by referencing the mechanics of the town's early wayfinding system. Drawing on the most immediate historic reference, the milestone yields a design that is more relevant and conceptually bound to its context. An architect's first home for himself already represents a special milestone in the arc of his practice, but to be bestowed with a prestigious award on behalf of his colleagues makes the event all the more exceptional. We would like to thank AIA New York State and the members of the jury for this distinguished honor. Where smaller, simpler projects such as this are often underappreciated, we are especially grateful for this recognition. Thanks is also due to the project team. It would not have been possible without the support of structural engineer Stephen Maresca, general contractor Dan Luce, and landscaper Greg Condon. Merit Award: residential single-family detached, less than 2,500 square feet. Little House, Big Flats, New York. Insight Architecture, Perry, New York. A modest, site-attuned dwelling to passive house standards was designed as an extension of the family's homesteading commitment. The home occupies a small clearing pressed against a deep forest, sited to provide space for homesteading. The dwelling was perched by the forest edge to encourage casual childhood adventures, sheltered by the wooded slope to be shielded from winds, angled to collect and store winter solar rays, and earth berm to enhance insulation, direct runoff, and silence road noise. A simple plan diagram was developed for the home. 2 squares are bisected by the line of entry, then refined by need. To the north is the sleeping tower. Its basic form and minimal openings respond to its prosaic functions. To the south is a single living space, lifting up to a south-facing window positioned to regular solar gain and to selectively frame a neighborless vista. To keep size to a minimum, many elements take on a double duty. The entry hall is also the main circulation spine and the mudroom. The wheeled dining table can be tucked under the kitchen island for daily meals or pulled out to accommodate 8 or more. The first floor bathroom can be divided by a door into a front guest half bath with a master bath beyond. The master closet is also the laundry room, and the children can slide a single door in their bedrooms to reveal either a clothes closet or desk. Extreme insulation, thermal mass, and synchronized air exchange were employed. A wall-mounted air source heat pump is the only heat source other than a small wood stove. A cord of firewood was the only fuel burned in Little House's first winter. Through all these measures, Insight Architecture met the family's vision of independence, lifelong stewardship, and closeness to nature. Little House started with big ideas by owners Kent and Emily about a permaculture philosophy that embraced the entire property. Their clarity and spirit of adventure sparked a focused, collaborative design process. Insight Architecture is honored to have been entrusted to help them realize their vision. Also, thanks to Ironwood Builders for their expertise in executing the Little House to passive house standards. Finally, credit to Kimberly, Nicole, Larissa, James, and Ryan at Insight Architecture for their roles in design, visualization, detailing, and execution. Citation: Sole Practitioner, 862 Fenimore Road Residence Additions and Renovations, Larchmont, New York. Michael Grogan Architecture, Manhattan, Kansas. This design involves additions and renovations to a 1958 modernist home that acquired a series of 1980s additions by architect Paul Rudolph. As the scope involves small yet conspicuous additions, primarily lower-level expansions with link between the house and garage, a decision was made to blend the new extensions with the existing work. Though establishing clear differentiation between new and old is common, here the approach was informed by that of Rudolph himself. His additions, though expressive, nonetheless extended the existing language and materiality of the original. Similar to Rudolph's earlier interweaving, a decision here was made to considerately supplement the existing elements by extending the spatial, material, and formal language of minimal wall and roof planes and informally distributed apertures to resolve client demands, while respecting and restoring all important elements in the predecessor's work. A cohesive whole is thus achieved. Morphologically, a series of grounded planes define the new additions as balanced counterparts to the loftier existing elevated planes, most notably the dramatic series of Rudolph-designed entrance canopies covering a meandering, stepped entry sequence. Redolent of his Sarasota work, Though in this context badly deteriorating, these have been restored to pristine condition. Other additions by Rudolph that transform the home's interior-exterior relationship were also preserved and fully restored, or, in the case of irreversible deterioration, rebuilt. Internally, the renovation work sought to grant a cohesion to what was an uncoordinated series of spaces, most not by Rudolph. Externally, the new connection to garage, roof decks, and stairs was designed to resolve a complicated knot of circulation between various zones. This juncture offers the most conspicuous evidence of the addition, but the deployment of elements in the vein of the earlier architects enable this to read as one of the well-considered evolutionary accretion to the prior phases. Michael Grogan, AIA, would first like to thank AIA New York State and the jury for recognizing 862 Fenimore Road residents with this award. The architect would also like to thank the owners, Viju and Ramya Joseph, and Comstock Residential Contracting for seeing through this lengthy and quite complex layered project with an eye towards maintaining quality and consistency throughout, while preserving and restoring significant elements added by Paul Rudolph. Special thanks to the Paul Rudolph Foundation, who advised on how to respectfully work with the great architect's previous contributions to this residence. Citation: Unbuilt Complete Commissioned Architectural Design Work, not yet built or completed by architects licensed more than 10 years. Lofted Ambitions, Between Utopia. Salt Lake City, Utah. United Lab Associates. Long Island City, New York. This proposal aims to inject a multi-use connective complex into 2 adjacent city blocks in downtown Salt Lake City. Despite the utopian ideals that spawned the city's conception, early visions of a promised land were soon replaced with the overly pragmatic tenets of need, availability, and function. Shaping the city as we know it today, the last fertile grounds have since been haphazardly relegated to the urban in-between. This project uses these interstitial spaces to reestablish utopian ideals by resurrecting a lost urban topography, encouraging the return of natural phenomena as a benevolent guiding force towards positive human-scale development. Existing urban schema in the region presents obstacles to attaining this ideal state. Large streets and blocks inhibit pedestrian activity, making the city difficult to grasp. Ideally, this proposal would serve as a pilot study to revitalize downtown Salt Lake City, block by block, in a manner that honors nature and the human experience. The initial foundation of this proposal is a resurrection of the region's endemic landscape. The site's interstitial spaces would take the form of Utah's rolling topography. Beneath this topographical layer, functional street-level programming like structure, parking, and city amenities will take root. Above this landscaped complex, a public plinth would be lofted in midair and connected to the ground plane with ample vertical circulation. The plinth would be supported by towers programmed to replace buildings displaced by the topographical resurrection. Navigating the project would be a hybrid experience between an organic, flowing landscape and a bustling urban environment, framed in vast, narrow vignettes that approximate the experience of a canyon. By densifying and elevating, we reintroduce human agency to the site, employing interstitial urban cracks as seeds for growth to build on the utopian foundation of Salt Lake City. We are very proud of being one of the prestigious AIA New York State Design Award winners. This recognition is extremely meaningful for us because it is not only recognizing the design excellence, but also encouraging against this challenging time of pandemic, since we, a small studio, don't have many new projects during this period. As such, in between hardship, we recalled an existing project left over we always kept in our mind of updating and finally got a chance to develop, with lots of research, new designs, and presentation with aesthetic point of view in the discipline of urbanism. If we had any new projects at this time, the final output of Lofted Ambitions won't be accomplished at this phase, and I deeply appreciate the way the jury caught our passion, the quality, and the details of the project for which we pursue. Honor Award. Unbuilt Complete Commissioned Architectural Design Work, not yet built or completed by architects licensed more than 10 years. Brea Tar Pits and Page Museum Master Plan, Los Angeles, California. Weissman Freddie, New York, New York. The Brea Tar Pits and Museum are sites of exploration and an enduring source of wonder. The proposed reimagination of the park and museum emerges from a close analysis of what is present, inspiring a commitment to preserve and magnify the site as an ever-changing site of discovery. The loops and lenses form a triple Mobius that links all elements of the park to redefine Hancock Park as a continuously unfolding experience, connecting three identities that are latent within the park today: research and revelation, the site of the excavation pits and Pleistocene garden, community and culture, where the museum and Central Green are located, and spectacle and urban fictions, where the lake pit and mastodons join the public imagination on Wilshire Boulevard. The identities of the loops embody journeys, with programming that appeals to diverse interests. The new 1-kilometer pedestrian path connects the existing elements of the site, brings drama to the crossing of the lake pit, frames views into the museum, enhances amenities for community engagement and research, and reveals the riches found in the tar pits and museum. As a vibrant public park, active exploration is complemented with lookout platforms along the loop to provide more intimate spaces for reflection. The Page Museum Rejuvenation and Expansion is conceived as a contemporary Wunderkammer, a treasure chest of stunning fossils and artifacts. Like a magnifying glass, exhibition spaces bring artifacts into focus and make visible the museum's treasures to the public. As flexible armatures, loops and lenses connect and reveal, forming a continuous journey that tells the story of Brea Tar Pits and Museum, the continuum from prehistoric time to our contemporary moment. The museum treasures will be revealed to visitors, bringing the museum to the park and the park into the public imagination. Weissman Freddie would like to thank the AIA for organizing this event and supporting high-quality architecture, as well as the jury for their recognition. Our gratitude extends to Dr. Lori Bedizin Varga, the director of the Natural History Museum of Los Angeles, as well as the members of the Page Museum's board. We are honored to be part of a hybrid project with such a sustainable impact, introducing accessible public space and shade equity to the Los Angeles cityscape, while providing possibilities for wonder and discovery. In particular, we are thankful to participate on a project with active research on site revealing the Pleistocene era, allowing new generations to experience and understand their place in the cycles of history, as well as the dire and urgent reality of climate change. Citation: Unbuilt. Commission architectural design work by practicing emerging architects, licensed 10 years or less, not yet built. Brooklyn, Mass. Timber House. Brooklyn, New York. Schiller Projects. New York, New York. Possessing an understanding of the life cycle of construction materials and products is vital to altering the widespread economic and environmental impact of our industry. The Brooklyn, Mass. Timber House is an adaptive reuse project focused on sustainable and speedy construction methodologies, utilizing mass timber, an alternate construction approach, using prefabricated solid wood panels. Mass timber is a process which involves the lamination and compression of multiple layers to create solid panels of wood. The 3,500 square foot single-family home will feature a 3-story Douglas fir laminated stair and bridge, along with divine views of New York City's few Gothic Revival-style cathedrals, a moment synonymous with Paris and the heart of Brooklyn. The existing structure, initially a carriage house, dates back to 1873. Although the front facade has been altered over the years as usages have changed, the approach includes refurbishing the frontage in cooperation with the New York City Landmarks Preservation Commission, with the interest of maintaining the structure's historic integrity. During the demolition process, computer scan measurements were taken on-site and transmitted to our studio, where we modeled the new building components. These specs were then provided to a prefabrication facility in New Hampshire. The floor packages and wall packages with windows pre-installed, along with a new rear facade and roof, will be fabricated and flat-packed onto a semi-truck for site delivery. Once the components arrive on site, the installation will require just 2 carpenters and 1 crane to fully assemble and seal the structure within approximately 4 days. Following trades will be equally sped up as all pathways and cutouts for plumbing, electrical, and mechanical will come pre-drilled and, in certain cases, pre-installed. The estimate for this delivery methodology will save approximately 35.8% of time over standard site-built construction methods and reduce labor hours. Our young firm is humbled to receive this citation from the jury. To be recognized with distinction by this group of accomplished peers is a fulfilling and energizing signal to our practice. We have attempted to build a studio from the outset that brought a focus to the decarbonization of architecture through building science. In the process, we work daily to challenge the dominant value systems that reward cheaper, short-term spending over long-term investment in our buildings, and thus our society and our planet. We are passionate about working with our clients and builders, empowering them to make eco-friendly choices and pushing these values forward. This means we often stand alone on a project team advocating for the rethinking of project goals around environmental impact. As a firm that is itself still in the act of creation, growing, learning, defining ourselves, it is our continued wish to pioneer a body of sustainable work at the forefront of design excellence. Thank you to AIA New York State and to this jury for your support and encouragement. High Honor Award, Urban Planning Design, St. Pete Pier, St. Petersburg, Florida. Rogers Partners Architects and Urban Designers, New York, New York. An example of 21st century urban design, the St. Pete Pier is both an investment in equitable open space and a catalyst for economic development. The project replaces an aging structure with a new, dynamic public landscape and leverages programming for a layered set of users. Increased connections to public transportation energize the city's downtown revitalization and anchor a larger district development strategy. The design bridges this cultural and demographic shift by establishing a topography of art installations, playgrounds, food and drink options, shopping areas, and other amenities that appeal to children, retirees, families, tourists, and young professionals. Rather than an isolated attraction at the terminus, the team created 3 buildings and 4 major landscapes, including a beachfront spread across the 26-acre public pier. From the Welcome Plaza, visitors traipse through a ramble of educational and recreational programming, including the Tampa Bay Watch Discovery Center, dispersed along the 1,380-foot-long pedestrian pier. At the terminus, an 11,000-square-foot pierhead features a large tilted lawn for concerts and film screenings, a fishing deck, a restaurant, and outdoor gathering spaces, including a rooftop deck with 360-degree views. Whether it's an afternoon at the beach, a brief jog, or a night out, the pier has something for everybody. The pier is also an investment in the city's ability to recover from rising sea levels and increasingly major storm surges. The new infrastructure includes flood-resistant features and drainage capabilities to minimize flooding impacts to ensure that recovery from 100-year storms and Category 4 hurricanes is possible. The design also minimizes construction impact to existing ecological resources and secures long-term net environmental enhancements through modified operational pier policies to build capacity for coastline resiliency. We would like to thank the City of St. Petersburg, particularly Mayor Rick Kreisman, the City Council, and all of the wonderful city staff for their vision and perseverance in seeing through a project of this scale and complexity. The Pier Working Group and the myriad of civic organizations that set the ground and shape the program for this project with their organization and outreach efforts, and particularly the residents of St. Pete for their participation and engagement throughout. This pier is truly for them. We know they'll use it well. We also need to thank the incredible team of design, engineering, and construction professionals whose talent and creativity made this happen. Thank you.
Every year, the jury selects one project that they all agree stands out above all of the others. As you just saw, these projects are really incredible, and to have one that stands out above the rest is simply astonishing. So this year's Best of the Best in New York State goes to the Nancy and Rich Kinder Museum Building, Museum of Fine Arts in Houston by Stephen Hall Architects. The jury felt that the form is inventive, seductive, and the material expression lucent and cogent. Site relationships to its neighbors are well considered and clear, and the circulation through the museum is intuitive. The exterior provides a beacon in the center of the arts district. It showcases innovative thinking about topography and lightness.
Level 2 sponsor. Peter Pennoyer Architects is an award-winning firm of architects, interior designers, and related professionals based in Manhattan and with an office in Miami, Florida. Founded in 1990, the firm is recognized as a leader in new construction, renovation, and historic preservation for residential, commercial, and institutional commissions across the United States and abroad. Recent projects include a house for the Jeff Koons family, the Benson on Madison Avenue, the Art Deco clock in the new Moynihan train hall, and a Czech Cubist-style house in Ohio.
I'd like to thank everyone for being part of tonight's celebration and submitting your work to AIA New York State Design Awards and supporting AIA New York State. It's been a great pleasure to have you all here tonight. And I'd like to also wish you all a happy and healthy holiday season and hope that we see each other in person in 2022.